What up, everybody? This is Late Night Live, episode 20. And we got most of the whole crew here. Asa Jack's Media Grounds. Chris, what's up, brother?
Hey, another week of fun events and news out there.
Yeah. Hey, and Meatball Saucy's already in the chat. You're all watching the fireworks. It's 9 p.m. Time for late night. That's right, bro. Let's go. Thanks, Meatball. You the man. If anyone else is in the live chat, I'll give you a shout out here too. 8-bit gaming legend Dathan, what's up, my friend?
What is going on, class? Hope everybody had a good week and ready for the weekend.
Saying spirits. Chris is only allowed to speak Japanese tonight. Okay, I'm okay with that. Chris, konnichiwa.
Crane game.
Okay. And Travis, how are you, sir?
Good. How's everybody doing?
Doing good. So I want to say a couple things. First of all, last week we had B Kong on. It was a great show, but I said that it wasn't what I wanted to talk about at one point. That wasn't the case. It just kind of that. I don't know. Those are word garbage that just kind of came out of my mouth, and I didn't mean to make anyone upset when I said that. So I just want to clear the room right now. Like I want to be focusing. The pinball is one of the things like I'm really interested in right now, especially the Stern stuff. So I wouldn't have had him on if I wasn't interested. So that was totally cool. We just had a lot of topics that I was preparing for all week last week that we didn't even get to talk about. So it was just kind of funny, but some of that I'd like to maybe we can get to today. So, but there's a lot of interesting stuff. I want to go over the Golden Tee stuff, Replicade from New Wave Toys. We're going to talk about the NCAA football game. And I'd like to still touch on what's going on at Microsoft and anything else you guys want to talk about too. We can talk about the new Assassin's Creed game. So, and if there's anything else in the chat, if you guys want to, what are you talking about, Meatball Saucy? I just finished a new pup pack this afternoon. Oh, okay. Nice. I finished X-Men 97. I don't know if all you guys also did that too. So that's why I got my Wolverine shirt on. Gaming we are playing last week. I'll go first. I am almost done with Stellar Blade. I am at the last boss, and it is hard. And you get to a point where you can make a choice on whether you want to be friends with the boss, or some things happen in the story where you get to make a choice, and either way you still have to fight a huge boss, but it can be a different boss. So I'm curious, like, if to get all the trophies in the game, it seems like you'd have to redo the game and make that other choice. But really good. But this last boss is hard. I also went to Next Level on Sunday and played a lot of pinball with my son again. So yeah, Jaws is a good game, and Venom. The more I play Venom, the more I really like it. So
I'm guessing John Wick was not there.
John Wick's not there.
Not there yet.
But it sounds like it's sure going to be there. It looks like they have ordered a pro version, and it sounds like they might have a limited edition version coming. Right. But the pro, they said the pro versions hadn't hit the West Coast yet. Yeah, not when you're done spoiling Celebrate. You're welcome, bro. I just muted you. Okay. Sorry. I didn't think I spoiled too much of it. If I did, I'm sorry. You can find all of that stuff out. I really didn't spoil anything of the story. Seriously. But Chris, did you play any games last week?
I picked up, it's called Shoshingo, Learn Japanese Through Photography. I put a video up on YouTube of me attempting that.
Oh,
It's kind of
okay.
an
Maybe
interesting
that's
thing. Yeah, that's the Japanese thing.
right, not the Japanese.
Yeah, and I only remember crane game because that's how you say crane game in Japanese.
Nice.
And then I also Immortals of Avium came out on Game Pass today. That was a first-person shooter game that was released by Ascendant Studios last year under EA, and it kind of flew under the radar. It's actually kind of a fun game. So
what about
I'm
big city little kitty or whatever that was? You
little
stopped that one already?
kitty big city.
Yeah, did you stop playing that already?
Yeah, I don't finish games.
Is that not just Stray? Did
Uh,
they release
no,
it last year called Stray?
It's not Stray because Stray was more of a sci-fi
Like
game.
a post-apocalyptic thing, yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta get a
whereas
cat in there somehow, and you're attracting like a whole different audience, and whatever makes the money, man.
This one was more of a it's a cat that's like laying on the ledge of an apartment building and then falls off. So your point of the game is to get back up to the top
Right.
of the apartment building so you can get back to where you were sleeping. But it's a puzzle game. So
I played through a couple levels of I can't even remember the title now. that
Kitty Big
that
City?
sci-fi. No,
Stray.
the other
Stray, yeah.
I got a physical copy on PlayStation 5, so
Yeah.
Dathan, did you
Yo.
play any games last week?
I did a little bit. I played some Transformers Beyond Reality, the VR. I only get maybe about an hour before my head starts to hurt a little bit because the strap. I'm not really used to it all that. I can't. For some reason, I can't get the exact spot on my head. There's like a sweet spot for the VR, and I can't quite get it yet. I did when I first got it. When I first Horizon the mountain one, I was able to get it perfect, but I haven't played it in a while, and I started going back and I couldn't get it. But I did a little bit of game hunting and some comic book stuff this week, and so I was kind of mixed all over the place. And I did pick up. I actually bought a Blu-ray that I haven't done in a long time. I picked up the 1989 collector's edition, The Wizard, the Fred Savage on Amazon. So I think it's only $15. So if you guys are interested, check it out. But that was pretty much it for gaming. Just a couple things here and there. With the announcement of Assassin's Creed, I am going to start getting back into Mirage so I can finish that before the next one comes out. That's the plan. So hopefully next week I can finish up Transformers Beyond Reality and jump back into Mirage. And that's kind of where I'm at.
Cool. Travis, did you play anything last week?
Yeah, still chipping away at Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I thought I was done, and then it said, "Oh, by the way, now you got one more thing to do," and so it threw me back. So now I'm at that part of the one more thing to do, and then I think I'm done. Other than that, still been just doing pinball effects, going back to the pinball thing, and creating tournaments there and seeing how I rank against all the online community.
Travis, you got any advancements on your pinball quest about acquiring one yet? Any?
I haven't. Yeah. I'm now, I think reality's setting in where this is the room now that the kids are no longer in the playroom mentality. This is the room that I think I would put it in. But now after talking with our guest, I was thinking I think the noise is a problem. And I think I want a real over a virtual. The virtual is nice because I can turn everything off and make it silent. But I don't know. I am worried that I'm worried about it just collecting dust, like basically my VR stuff does.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So no, nothing yet.
I was gonna say, Travis, did you get any of the new games on Pinball FX that just came out?
So I was gonna look at them tonight. Actually, did they come out yet? That was the Universal. Was it the Universal TV shows that they've put on, right?
Yeah. Knight Rider.
Okay.
There is a Xeno Warrior Princess table.
Yeah.
And I know there's also a soccer game that's been out for a while, but it's free right now.
Okay,
So it's
I'll
like
take a
World
look.
Soccer. It's
I
free on every platform right now.
I kind of am. I feel like I've missed out on a lot of the pinball effect stuff because aside from the VR implementation of it, which I do have and I did play quite a bit of, I've ignored the original tables they make and I've done only the Williams replicas. So like I go to
Yeah.
Monster Bash every time, Medieval Madness every time. And this last week, I actually fired up one of their original tables. And after I got over the
Battlestar.
shock of everything moving around, I actually found it enjoyable. So it's like, well, geez, maybe I should step into a few more of these. So I bought a couple DLC packs for it. So I'll definitely check out the new Universal stuff too, since ideally they're getting better at designing stuff. You know?
Meatball Saucy brings it up. Battlestar Galactica is the other table.
Okay.
So no, if you're a Battlestar beats what's the thing, Chris? Beats
Beats,
Bat.
Battlestar
Yeah,
Galactica.
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't when it comes to pinball tables, the actual like IP behind it doesn't matter that much to me. Is really just the gameplay does, right? And that's I think that's what turned me off originally about the originals that they make because they are just so video gamey as opposed to what you really could do with the pinball machine. But like I said, I hopped into one of them and I was like, actually, this is a lot of fun. Like, once that I get over the whole, it's not a real table. I couldn't find this in the real world. It actually became pretty fun. I think it was a Star Wars one that actually caught me on that. So, yeah.
I think it's weird. Some of the physics on their original Zen tables don't feel right to me, but
No.
once
Yeah.
you get used to it,
Then it becomes
it's
fun.
enjoyable. But like
Uh-huh.
the Williams is very much, I feel it's much more accurate to a real pinball. So
Super
I can see why
realistic. Yeah.
you went that way.
So super realistic to the point where I went to next level and played Bride of Pinbot, comparing it to the night before playing Bride of Pinbot on Pinball Effects 3 and the new version of the original one. 3 actually has better physics, it feels to me, or it felt to me that day for that one table. But yeah, super impressive. Like it just is impressive.
Let's go to our first topic, guys. So let's see. Maybe you've seen a lot of this here, but maybe I should turn off the chat here. I had it on. There we go. So, have any of you guys even bought a New Wave Toys replica machine? They just announced this bad boy, and I'm curious what you guys think. This is it says prototype, but this is the $399.99 version of Golden Tee, and these are the miniature machines. But this one will come with a big trackball that you can use on your television set or monitor, and looks like they still haven't decided on exactly what the marquee is going to be. Looks like you get a vote on it or something.
Looks like it includes all 6.
Oh, okay. Well, it includes all 6 arcade games.
Oh,
Where did I
okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. You get a vote for the production marquee down here.
Gotcha.
But it looks pretty good. This is the most expensive New Wave Toys machine I believe they put out. It's got the GRS arcade trackball, which I did install in my Atari 12-in-1 arcade 1-up, and it feels really good. Chris, I know you. I think you came over to when I had the arcade 1-up Golden Tee, and we had fun with that, right?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
There's also I can show, and you can pre-order it now. There's save 20% off, so you can get 20% off right now if you use the code Golden35. The standard version is $249.99. It still seems a little spendy to me, and if you're wondering too, it's like the size for your like action figures, but it's got that HDMI out, so you can play this on a big TV. But you need that big trackball if you want to do that, I think. Any interest from any of you guys on this one?
Not for me. I used to. I have a bad thing with golden tees because I used to work for an arcade company for 10 years, and I remember those things breaking all the time. And so
Really?
I can't. I'm not a fan of golden tee at all. So
Okay, yeah, fair.
hard pass for me.
So it's not a real size, like it's not like one of the next level games where like you can put that in your home and chip away at it, play away at it with your friends. It's like a small little replica that then you
Right.
have the trackpad that you connect with. That is
Exactly.
expensive for a small little replica.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think myself, I'm not a buyer. I had, like I said, I had the arcade 1-up version. We had a lot of good golf games. It's a very good multiplayer game, but I don't know if it translates to a little machine. Chris, do you have any final thoughts on this one before we go to the next topic?
I mean,
Sounds like we're just not interested.
No.
I mean, if you want like a roughly the size it's gonna be,
Yeah, the Pringles can. Yeah,
it says it's about 12.5 inches, so it's probably gonna be that tall.
it's
Weird.
not 19 inches of venom. So
Yeah, so
it's
it's
a no
and
go, bro.
it's only 5.5 inches wide, so it's about average size for the American man.
Why do you gotta go there, man?
I do have friends who go to bars and they'll travel to do Golden Tee championships.
Yep.
Like they are way into it. So it would be interesting to find out what their thoughts are on something like that. But they went as far as to like try to gut one, and they're not computer guys at all. Like they're not at all. Most of them are mechanics actually in this group of friends, and they went as far as to try to replicate the Golden Tee in their house, but they didn't like it as much. There was just something about going to the bar, doing that there, and even though they were all connected to the internet. So that would actually be my question: is do you still get to be on the real leaderboards with these one-offs that they're selling for home use?
That I don't know.
That's
I
a
don't
good
think there. I have a
Yeah.
feeling there aren't any leaderboards.
Yeah, that's my guess too, because that's what those guys are into, is how high do they chart internet wise, right? Like you go to the bar, but then they look at like where they're at nationwide, right? So
Right.
yeah, it'd be interesting.
Next topic. Let's talk about NCAA football. So, if you're in the chat and you're excited for this game, let me know. But I was thinking I was going to play the trailer for you guys. You good with that?
Yeah, go for
Yes.
it.
Meatball Saucy one. He asked if the pizza is good at Next Level Pinball, the food cart. Yes, it is. It is very good.
It is very good.
Probably some of the best pizza I've ever had.
It is fantastic.
No way. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like it?
Yeah.
Because I
It
didn't
is
try.
really good.
Yeah.
So
'Cause
do yourself a favor and take your ass over there and get pizza.
Okay. Yeah, next time I'll do it, because I walked right by it, went in. I didn't even think about it.
Oh yeah, no, I love Walry's here in Salem, but their crust on that pizza they had there was so much better than Walry's, and
They hand make their pizza. I saw the girls spinning the dough when I went there on Sunday or Saturday, and yeah, it's really good. And you get a lemonade too. So order a lemonade on a hot day and the pizza, and then go back in and play some pinball.
All right.
You guys ready for the trailer?
Yes.
Go for it.
All right. I'm gonna see. I think this is the trailer. Maybe this isn't the trailer, but I thought it was funny. This is their upcoming schedule for the Oregon Ducks. How many wins are they gonna have? You think the copyright strike is coming? It might be.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I am gonna mute the audio on this one a little bit because they do get to some music.
Yeah.
But here's the actual commercial or trailer or whatever. Yeah. No, I'll put that back right now. Dathan, what
Yes.
did you think so far when you saw this?
So I watched it a couple times, and there were a couple things. One, I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I love how they got the traditions down. The animations look great. I mean, it looks. This is what I would expect after 10 years of waiting for this game to show up, and they've been working on this game for I don't know how forever.
11 years, actually. 11 years.
There are rumors or rumblings that some of this is just Madden. They're using skins over Madden animations from last year or 2 years ago. That's what I've been hearing. Honestly, if that's the case, then I don't really care. It looks fantastic and good to play college football. And I was wondering why there was only one section of the Oregon Ducks. There was no gameplay, and then I figured it out is because they have new uniforms coming out that are going to be debuting in July.
Oh,
so that's probably why you didn't see a whole lot. You just saw the duck at the beginning.
Good point. I didn't even think of that. You're absolutely right.
Anybody who's been to a duck game, the opening, the duck rides on a Harley across the field and then cuts back. When they take the team out on the field. So that's all you saw. But they are going to have a whole new version of uniforms that are going to be debuting in July this year. And I'm guessing it's going to be right when the game comes out. So that's probably why you didn't see any ducks in there. My theory.
Travis,
but I can't wait.
Yeah. Travis, are you a football fan at all?
Yeah, but where are they playing Ohio State? And
at
where
home.
are they
at home at Autzen? Yeah. So
they're still going to lose that one.
Man, that's if you go on StubHub right now, those tickets are going for at the low end $400 a piece.
Yeah. I went to Oregon State, so that's where my allegiance lies.
Yeah, that's Chris too.
Yeah, but I'm more as unpopular as this is, I'm more of an NFL fan than I am NCAA.
Okay. I am too. Now lately,
is that right?
I've been shifting more towards NFL with all the stuff that's going on with NCAA. It's going to become AAA baseball. You know what I mean? Like it's going to become the feeding ground. It's going to be the minors to the majors, even though it already was. But now with name, image, and likeness in the transfer portal, it's even more, right? So it's like it's going to be your farm teams. I think the game even has a transfer portal. I think.
Oh, does it really?
I'm surprised that they didn't have a transfer portal edition of the game, to be honest. And something like that.
Well, let's talk about the editions too, because I'm disappointed that there's just, if you want a physical copy of the game, there's just one version. It's the standard one on the right.
Okay.
You get the base game, and then you can start getting into the what I call the MLB The Show Diamond Dynasty kind of stuff, which I don't know for this game I'm interested in, because our Oregon Ducks are going to be really, really good in this game. They got to be, if they're not number one, they're going to be right behind Ohio State at number 2. And who's the other good team? I think Georgia. They're going to be right there.
Georgia and Texas are going to be up there. They'll be top 5 for sure.
And I was thinking some of my favorite sports games were when my favorite team was like really, really good. And then you either take it online or you do like your dynasty in season, and you just play like every game. So good. And when you got a team that you're rooting for, and this is totally the case with this game, I think. But you're gonna get, with the standard edition, you get the Alma Mater Ultimate Team pack. You get packs, cover athlete Ultimate Team pack. So Ultimate Team basically means you're going to be able to draft your own team, and you'll have players from every team in college football, basically, and you'll be able to take that online. Is from what I understand. Bring glory home, Ultimate Team uniform items. So there's some uniform. It's just more ways for you to spend money in the game. The deluxe edition, this version's $100. You get 3 days early access. 4,600 college football points. I'm assuming those are kind of like stubs in MLB The Show. I don't play. I don't really into the Madden version of Ultimate Team either. So, but if you guys are in the chat, let me know. And then you can get, if you're really crazy, you can get the MVP bundle, $150, and it comes with Madden, but you get all this stuff.
So you get 2 games. You get the new, this year's upcoming Madden and the NCAA.
Yeah,
For
I'm thinking that is
that
a
would
little
be,
bit of a discount, but
well, yeah, because, well, it's not a discount necessarily, right? Because aren't they each going to go for $69.99,
right.
or are they going to go for $59.99?
That MVP bundle is $150, so
Yeah, but what was it for the standard? Sorry, I missed.
$69.99.
Okay, yeah. So you might as well, at that point, if you're going to buy both, you might as well go for the premium version, right? Because
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
get both games for that for $10 extra, right?
Yeah, Bonos. Yeah.
But I've always had trouble playing both NCAA and Madden. Like, I usually per year I pick one or the other, and then I
Mhm.
play through that because I usually pick a dynasty type thing and go all the way up, and then by the time I'm done with that, I'm kind of done with the game usually for me.
You don't
Hopefully,
think Colorado with Deion Sanders is gonna take the game?
Dude, I kind of want him to. Dion is
I heard-
he's such a polarizing guy in that way, and he's so annoying. But that's part of what I like about his shtick, you know.
Well,
Right.
it drives people to talk about you. You know, you gotta
Yeah,
do something.
yeah. No, it's true. Same thing with but then though, like, so I was the biggest Duck hater because I'm a sore Beavers fan, but Dan Lanning has flipped that around. Like, my wife commented on it. She's like, "Are you actually rooting for the Ducks in this game?" And because she caught me, getting upset that they were, making some bad plays during the game. That she caught me watching, and I was like, Dan Lanning, I don't want to see him lose. Something about that guy that I like, you know.
Yeah.
So they got a good coach, at least a likable one, and good as far as the.
And
results
but you
go
guys
so
will be
far.
able to play as Oregon State too. So if you guys get the game, we can play it. I'll be the Ducks, or Dathan can play the Ducks too. I'll go Ducks versus you, man. And
Oh, that's fine.
we'll see
That's
who comes
fine.
out on top. So, but July, what did we say? July 19th?
July 19th.
Yeah. So got to request that day off from work.
And I think they're finally putting it out to PC like day one, right?
No,
No.
it's not.
Oh,
PC.
that has not been doing it? Oh, I thought they
No.
started doing that last year.
And MLB The Show is another one they haven't brought to PC yet, and I don't know why. They
'Cause
brought it to
Madden's PC,
Nintendo
right?
Switch. They brought it to Xbox. So, yeah, a little bit of a miss there.
Yeah, whatever.
Come on, EA.
No love. Now I got to go buy a console. That was the reason to buy an Xbox. You know what I mean? Like, when I finally
Right.
had the liberty to buy consoles, that was why. Was because sports games were on them, right? And they just weren't on PC. But yeah.
One of the
Well, I guess-
reasons you
yeah.
used to get a Sega Genesis back in the day, because I felt like all the sports titles were on the Sega Genesis. There were some on the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, but I felt a lot of them were on the Sega Genesis.
Gotcha.
All right, so we're really excited for that. Let's see, what else do I have here? This just popped up tonight. Did you guys see this? Is that coming through?
It is, yes.
NBA superstars, huh?
New arcade game. Yeah.
Weird.
And it sounds like it's got the voice from of Kitsuro, the guy that did NBA Jam. And he's always at Portland
He's
Retro
always at
Gaming Expo.
PRG.
Yeah. But this thing looks massive. Booming speaker system, backlit NBA logo and stars, team color coordinated RGB LEDs, 4 players, animated LED scoreboard, all 30 teams represented. I'm thinking this is going to be current rosters, which will be sucks if you're like a Portland fan because our roster's terrible right now. But yeah, this looks dope. I can see this being at all the new arcades, and I wonder if Next Level would get it too.
Oh, I'm sure they would.
Yeah.
So
I don't see why they wouldn't.
it looks like it takes up a ton of space, though.
I was gonna say it's a lot of real estate, but
My
They'll
God.
get 2 of them, and they'll put it like right in the hallway when you walk into up against the wall, or like right in the area where you go into the pinball. That little section right there. That's where they'll put them.
Yeah.
That thing is huge.
So I don't know if they've said when this thing's coming out. I think there's going to be like a trade show coming up for arcade games this summer, so I wonder if they'll show it off there. They probably will. Oh, I just saw that tonight, so I was like, oh, I'll share that.
Those dimensions for that cabinet are just 113 inches tall.
Yeah.
So you want to, if you were to get these and put them side by side, you would want to compare it to that big ass 4-player Tomb Raider.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. That Meatball Sauce is the same thing, just right then. The move the Tomb Raider.
You think it'll run an arcade 1-up? It might. Raspberry Pi, bro. So yeah, that's cool. I don't want to do that. There we go. Let's talk about Microsoft a little bit, Chris, and all the stuff that happened last week.
Wow,
it's been a whirlwind.
That them shutting down as many studios as they did, and then having that executive talk about how they wanted to focus on like smaller game developers. Because Hi-Fi Rush, which was a game that was released by Tango Works, which was one of the studios they shut down, they had actually released that it was one of the biggest reasons for Game Pass getting a lot of new subscribers. And so that was a reason for the executive saying, hey, we focus on like the smaller games, smaller developers and everything making these games, we get way more subscribers to Game Pass. And then they go and shut down studios that are actually doing that. And there seems to be this big focus now on Call of Duty on Game Pass. They were going back and forth. Is Call of Duty going to be on Game Pass day one? Is it not? And they just came out yesterday and they're like, yes, Call of Duty will be on Game Pass day one. And it's like, but is it going to bring new subscribers to you?
No, there's a whole Wall Street Journal article about it. That's where that broke. So
I don't.
Interesting.
I don't know if this is actually going to benefit them. I kind of feel like Xbox is pulling an EA when it comes to the studios they're closing down. And instead of utilizing the ones that probably will benefit them, they're kind of going with Bethesda and Blizzard and Activision and saying, hey, you guys have had these games that are making billions of dollars, and we just spent billions of dollars to buy these studios. So we're going to go ahead and focus on the games that in the past have made money, but there's no guarantee that going forward, people are going to be like, oh yeah, hey, let's go ahead and do this. So yeah, I don't know. And I love Game Pass. I think it's a great service and everything, but it does cannibalize sales.
Yeah. Day one, man. Yeah, we're all working.
Yeah. Well, I've been working when it comes to Call of Duty forever. I don't play that game anymore.
I'm not a Call of Duty fan either. I'm not into like really realistic gun violence isn't my thing anymore. I get it is for a lot of players, and that's one of the, like we were talking about for college football. Like this is a game that you want to play. This is a console seller. Like if you want to play Call of Duty, you buy a console, but you can, of course, you can do it on PC or whatever. But what I'm saying is like it's that big of a game. So
Well, and it's not just that, but Call of Duty has like one of the most toxic communities as far as games go.
Yeah,
like I can't like Helldivers 2 has been great to play and jump into the community. That as far as the people that just randomly join a game I'm playing, they've all been great to play with. I haven't had anyone that's been like, oh my god, you suck so bad at shooting. Whereas Call of Duty, every time I tried to play in the past, you get on and it's like, oh, your kill to death ratio is terrible. You suck. You should go kill yourself because you're a waste of space. And it's like, I'm just here to play a game and have fun.
And it's some 5-year-old that says that to you.
I was with your mom last night. And it's just so stupid. So I don't think Call of Duty is going to do what they wanted to do, and I don't think focusing on Bethesda games is going to do what Microsoft expects it to do. I think they should, you've spent all this money buying these studios. Let's scale back the kinds of games you get out. Try and produce like games that people want to play.
The whole thing go back to Hi-Fi Rush though, like that whole situation, I can't believe that they've shut down Tango Gameworks. That is one of their like main studios they had in Japan. That's the audience they want to get, is a Japanese audience. The game, if you hopefully you guys have played this game, really good. It's on Game Pass if you have Game Pass. Sounds like they're working on a physical copy, maybe with limited run. I think I'm going to buy that. There's music in the game that they could eventually take down due to licensing. Maybe they lose the licensing. If Tango Gameworks isn't there, like who is even updating this stuff? I don't know. But this one might be a physical copy purchase for me. But it's just really sad. Like, and it was a really well-reviewed game. But we're not going to make any more of it. So
it was a well-made game.
Slap in the face. And I can't believe all those people that worked on the game too. They just put out a YouTube video presentation from the Game Developers Conference. I don't know when that was, March or April. The director of the game did this whole hour-long presentation of how he came to develop the game with everybody and his ideas for the game. It's really fascinating to watch if you guys go check it out. But he doesn't have a job anymore. Like, oh my God. So, man, Xbox has got some, or Microsoft's got some, they need to give us some goodwill here. I know they've got their showcase in June 9th or something like that. Man, they got to come up with some bangers, and I don't know. Travis or Dathan, what do you got? Any thoughts?
Well, I think like you just mentioned, I think the developer or the conference that they're doing next month is going to be a very good sign of where they're going to be going forward. I think a lot of at least the remainder of the year is going to be hinging on what they announce and what's going to be coming. And I hope it's mostly stuff that hasn't been announced. I hope it's new games, and I hope it's new games that are not 3 to 4 years supposed to be coming out.
Right.
That,
yeah.
I think they need something within the calendar year, at least the holiday season.
Absolutely. They've done that a ton of times in the past where they say, yeah, we're working on such and such game, but it's not coming out for 4 years.
Yeah, I know they got the
Oh my Lord.
Fable 4.
Fable.
Yeah,
right.
that was announced how long ago, and there's nothing. And so I bet we hear something about that. Hopefully a holiday release, but is Fable 4 going to be the thing that's going to put Microsoft over? Probably not. Maybe a new Gears game, hopefully. Yeah, like you were saying, I think the conference is going to be a good indicator.
I'm hearing there might be working on a new Doom game. There might be a new Gears game. And then Indiana Jones is what I've rumored to hear, or what I've heard is it's going to be coming out in December. So those 3 games interest me right now. Chris, you played Doom Eternal, right?
Yeah, I played Doom 2016.
Really fun.
And
I
Doom
figure those
Eternal.
guys at id Software are working on something. So they're probably working on a sequel to Doom. It makes sense to
Well,
do.
on Tuesdays that Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and they
Thank you, Jason.
There have been a lot of people that got review copies, and I've seen 3 or 4 people say F the embargo. I'm going to go ahead and let you know that this is the best game ever released. One guy said the atmosphere, everything about it is amazing. But I know there's Ninja Theory, who developed the game, there have been a lot of developers who have come out and said that they're worried about their job. And if this game doesn't sell the way they want it to, they think Microsoft's going to shut down that studio too.
Yeah, could you imagine working for Microsoft right now?
Yeah.
Working in their gaming division? You are on pins and needles right now. You're stressed out. You got to get your resume. But I PlayStation 2 has their own problems. But I feel like Microsoft, they really put everything so close to the vest with everything, and they're so public about some of this stuff, or the leaks happen. I hear about it much more at Microsoft than I do at PlayStation and Nintendo. They know what they're doing.
Look at console sales for this generation of systems. The Xbox is behind in terms of console sales. Sony just announced that they believe the PlayStation 5 sales has peaked at 50 million. They're still going to sell systems, but in comparison to the PlayStation 4, which has sold over 100 million consoles, they haven't even been able to turn around their entire gaming base from the PlayStation 4 era into the PlayStation 5.
Well, did you see Microsoft or PlayStation is selling 5 times more PlayStation 5s right now than Microsoft Xboxes?
But they're not comparing to the Nintendo Switch. When you go and you look at the Switch, which is well over 140 million consoles sold, it kind of begs the question: is the generation of gamers that are buying consoles now, are they looking more at the handheld market and going, hey, I prefer to be able to either pick up my system and just go and play, and then if I want to sit at home and play on something, I'm going to play on a PC.
I think that's the other card that hasn't dropped yet. Is Microsoft going to drop a handheld device? Yeah. I think they need to. It's time. Switch 2 is about to bend them both over. Dude, I was prepared this year to buy that thing. I was so disappointed it's not coming out till next year. I had the money set aside.
When did Nintendo start allowing mature content on their consoles? Was that with the Wii U, or was it with the Switch?
It was I think it was Resident Evil 4 GameCube.
GameCube. Oh, that's right. It was GameCube, because Eternal Darkness, I think, was a mature rated game, and I played that one on GameCube.
I would say it was the Nintendo 64, actually.
Oh, Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah, if you go back, Conker's Bad Fur Day was a mature rated game on the
I mean, if you want to go way back, you can go like bubble bath babes for Nintendo. That was that was way back in the day.
Seems
Well,
like we've already had this conversation
We have.
before.
The reason I asked,
I still
the
got
reason-
my copy of Speed in the chat. Do you have this one? Thanks for coming on the chat, Speed.
Oh, Perfect Dark on Nintendo 64 was him. Okay, so the reason I was asking, and Nintendo 64
Perfect
for Doom
Dark.
64. So the reason I was asking was because I'm sitting here thinking, why would PlayStation be lagging? Now the Xbox makes sense to me because Microsoft for this generation really tried to make it a multimedia console and focus on that, whereas the PlayStation didn't really do that, right? So then the question was, okay, so then if it is the Switch that's taking away a lot of those sales this year, is that because they finally allowed their console to be more appealing to a mature gamer as opposed to a family console or a kid's console? Um, I was wondering because again, I'm not like my background isn't console. So I just wondered, okay, is that what I'm missing out on here? Because the PS5 seems like it should be the go-to if I was to throw money at something.
I
Well,
think
if you look
go
at the
ahead.
culture of Japan,
Mhm.
they're very much a on the go. They don't have consoles at home, so Nintendo is always the handheld market has always been their go-to there.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's kind of weird because you sit there and you go on the Switch eShop, and there is so much shovelware. Like there are just hentai games on there, all over the place. There's garbage everywhere. It's like Nintendo was like, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and open up the eShop. You can put whatever you want on here. We've got adult games, we've got all kinds of things. And then Sony with the PlayStation 5 is like, we're wanting to censor more. We want to go back and we want to, the games that are coming out multi-platform, if it's on the Nintendo Switch, it doesn't have the censorship that Sony has suddenly started doing this generation with the PlayStation 5 and everything. So it's kind of, there's been this weird shift between the two, whereas, even I would say the PlayStation 3, you could go on their eShop or their store and you could find the same shovelware that's now on Nintendo Switch. That's like, oh yeah, here's some garbage adult games that we're going to try and hook you into buying this just because we've got boobies.
Right. Yeah.
Those guys don't.
So yeah, I was just wondering because you said that the PS5 has, struggled against the PS4, and I'm trying to think like why would that be? Is it because the tech from the PS5 was, not much of an upgrade from the PS4, but I know it was.
It's the games.
Yeah.
It's the games.
Is it?
What are
Is
their
it that they're
best-selling
not?
games? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and whatever. They just need to port that. Are we going to get Mario Kart 9? I guess it would be it'd be Mario Kart 10. There's like I think 9 is a handheld version or something they put out. Oh, on your iPhone, I think there was something. But yeah, it is all about the games, and Nintendo knows the secret sauce on how to create good games. Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, man, that game is amazing.
And they do keep it exclusive too, to that point.
Right.
And that's as somebody who is a fan of cross console, that's what's always annoyed me on, Nintendo, and Sony used to do that too. And now Sony's kind of breaking out of that. Now we may see them reverse if that's what they figure out is the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Which would be unfortunate for me.
You guys in the chat are amazing tonight. What do everyone's drinking your coffee. I appreciate it. Jason, thank you for showing up. I'd find it difficult moving to the Sony ecosystem because I've always been an Xbox guy, and the backwards compatibility and my game collection is important to me. Yeah. No, I'm the same way. But
Jason, wouldn't you switch? Like, wouldn't you find a time where you're like, okay, the backlog has been, like, I always retire games, and the rate that I do, works sometimes over. And then at that point, you'd think it would be smart to then jump into the Sony ecosystem if that was, attractive.
And you're humble.
I appreciate staying spirits. Yeah, no, it's such a strange thing because the backwards compatibility has always been a big thing for me too. And so, like, I remember day one when PlayStation 2 was announced, and they're like, it's going to be backwards compatible. You'll be able to play all your PlayStation 1 games. And it was like, oh, this is the most amazing thing any company could have come up with. And so it was like day one, PlayStation 2, got it. It's great. Then they announced the PlayStation 3, and it's like, oh, we're going to have backwards compatibility. And then shortly after, like, nope, we're getting rid of that. And it became well, why would I want to buy a PlayStation 3 for $600 when it doesn't even play any of these games I have? Because I'm like, I have hundreds of PlayStation 2 games I haven't gotten to yet. And it's always been the same thing. It's like, yeah, I'm like, Microsoft is smart with the Xbox. It's going to be backwards compatible. We keep getting new generation. It's still backwards compatible. And PlayStation 5, it's like, yeah, we're going to do backwards compatible, but we're also going to offer upgraded versions that are PlayStation 5 exclusive titles. You want to get The Last of Us, we're going to release a full version of it for the PlayStation 5. We'll call it the remaster or remake or reboot or whatever it is nowadays. And so it honestly is one of those things where it's like, I love seeing like 8-bit gaming legend Dathan's collection. It's cool to see that, but when I get a new system, a new console, I typically get rid of the last version. So like I just sold my PlayStation 4 because I'm like, we've got a PlayStation 5. I don't play the 4 anymore, so I got rid of it. In the PlayStation 5, you can still play some of those games from the PlayStation 4, but it's like, I'm not, when it comes to the consoles, I don't collect them like I used to. So once a new version comes out, I typically get rid of the old one. And then I regret my choices in life because I'm like, man, I really want to play Eternal Darkness on the GameCube, but I don't have a GameCube and I don't have Eternal Darkness anymore.
I wish I had that problem where I could get rid of stuff, but I can't.
Yeah.
I tried, but I just couldn't do it.
Oh my god.
Hey, guys, Hellblade 2 comes out next week. Are any of you guys going to play that? And going back to the Microsoft, like they are shooting themselves in the foot. Like I've heard that they're going to be trying to market this game. I have not seen anything really about this game. There was some stuff at their Xbox presentation. When was that? In January or February? But they've been dead silent on everything about it, I feel like. And it's dropping next week. No physical copy, but you can download it. Man, I feel like hopefully the reviews are really good and it does good word of mouth, but man, I feel like they have left money on the table by not promoting this more. And
is this another one of those Will Smith games where he's in? Is it another one of those situations?
No, I never played the first one. I think Chris, you played it, didn't you?
I've got the first one on my Switch.
Okay.
So I have it. I just keep getting I have it in VR. And that's how I've been trying to play it.
Nice.
But I get to the same point every time, and for some reason I drop it. So I've never finished it.
Did you know there was a new one coming out next week?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No idea.
Yeah. Dathan's got
How
an
far
Xbox.
did you make it in it, Chris? Did you make it in it? Did you beat it?
I have not. I didn't. I have this bad habit of like buying games, starting them, and then I put in like 3-4 hours, and I'm like, okay, I'll come back to this another time. But now there's this new shiny thing over here, and then it's like, which is why with I was kind of proud of myself for taking the Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, and actually going through and beating that game, because I was like, yes. And now I'm kind of like, I need to go back to just like focusing on one thing at a time. But then I'm like, oh, Game Pass, shiny new thing. I've got to play this. And so I was all like, yeah, I'm going to do Little Kitty, Big City. And then it's like, oh, here's another game that's dropped. Oh, here's another one. And I'm like, sweet Jesus, man, you really need to just focus on one thing. I'm like, do I have ADHD? Maybe I should get tested. I don't know.
Everyone in the chat too. Yes, Speed used to be my college roommate back at Western Oregon University, and we both had a really cool setup. Like I brought my TV and he brought his, and we had such a cool setup. I need to find a picture of it. I know we took pictures of that dorm room, but he had his GameCube, and I believe I had mine. We definitely had Dreamcast, uh, and we had Xbox One, and we were able to play Halo, Capture the Flag over the network there, the local area network. It was amazing. It
So
might be one of my
you
favorite
said
times.
Western
Oregon.
Oregon. Is that in Monmouth?
Yeah.
Yep.
So there used to be a pizza place in downtown Monmouth, and it's the only place that I have ever seen in the entire world that had a Radmobile arcade machine from Encino Man. Do you remember that? Encino Man?
No.
Radmobile? It's the only place that I ever saw it.
Yeah. We had this guy named Jack who would come over, and he was really good at MVC2. I wonder what happened to him. He was a good guy. But anyway.
That Hellblade game, though, back on that real quick, that was the game that made me realize that my problem with my VR stuff is that I don't find it like relaxing to game in VR. And when I like to game and relax at this, like it's my unwind time. You know what I mean? And that's when I realized, like, oh, no wonder my VR stuff collects so much dust.
Yeah, I've got a few games in VR, but most of them are like games that I'm like, I want to ramp up playing something. So those are the games I play. Like I have Pistol Whipped. I don't know if you've ever played that one.
Yeah, fun.
It is such a fun game, but I'm ramped up when I play it.
Yeah, it's not time to go to bed after you put an hour in on that. It's like time to go outside and do something or whatever. Go run some errands.
I tried to play Resident Evil 7 in VR, and just playing that one in VR, I was like, I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm going to die here. And so I don't think I'm going to do this one anymore.
Yeah.
I got another horror game that I had bought. I don't remember the name of it, but I'm like, this is a cool game. And then it gets to the point where you actually have to fight monsters. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a heart attack. I can't do horror games in VR.
Yeah.
And I had bought Star Trek Bridge Crew for VR. And if you can get like a group of people to play with you, I think that would actually be a fun one to play. But playing by yourself and then having two NPCs, because the AI or the programming for the NPCs isn't all that great. So it's like, I need you to fire lasers, and they'll just kind of look at you like, I don't understand what any of these buttons do. So then you have to
that was a lot of that. Yeah.
You have to take over.
Yeah.
Do you guys get really sweaty playing VR? I sure do. Like I'll put that thing on.
It depends.
And I'll get sweat dripping in my eyes. I can just feel like, that kind of takes me out, and I got to readjust it and wipe things down.
Pistol Whipped. You play that Pistol Whip game, and I tell you, you will have felt like you've gone to the gym for 6 hours.
Oh my Lord.
5 minutes of gameplay on that one, and I'll take off the thing, and I got to just like remove all the sweat, and it's such a fun game, though.
It is really fun. And then the other one that I swore I was going to like get into, I bought it on PC so that I could play it through the Steam VR, and was the Seventh Guest remake that they did. But I completely lost interest again. Like, I'm just sitting on the couch playing it because you can do it seated. It's just a puzzle game. But after I got over the novelty of being in the mansion from the CD-ROM game of back in the day, once I got over that, I was like, I don't know. I think I'd rather just play this game like on my laptop as opposed to like putting it on and sitting in it. Like I don't know, for some reason and again, Hellblade is what kind of really hammered that in for me, is that even though I want to play a game and I think it's cool, I just don't find it like relaxing. And part of my gaming nowadays is I do it to relax, as weird as that is. Even playing a game like Doom Eternal, to me, there's something that's kind of relaxing about it. And VR, for some reason, it intrudes into that. You were playing stuff in VR though, Dathan, recently. So is your experience the same, or do you even care? Like when it goes to that?
It like I was saying, like was with the Transformers, the rail shooter.
Mhm. Yeah.
I can usually go for about 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh, that's right. And then you start getting kind of,
I start to out. It's not like I don't get sick
right
anymore. I used to, but it's just kind of this weird, like, I don't know, like I need to get out of this fake world and get into the real world.
You've had enough of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can go about an hour and a half or so. And then it's time to go on to do something else. But, I've only played just a small sample size of games. And I am going to hopefully hit up that Galaxy's Edge Star Wars thing here soon. Cause I want to give that a try.
I totally would recommend Pistol Whip though. I would actually. Yeah. That's
the horror stuff that Chris was talking about. That I did Resident Evil, and there was 10 minutes, and I said never again. Never.
Really? See, I made it in Resident Evil VR. I made it to where I just got bored with it. Where I beat the there's like the first boss guy, I think, and then I made it to the second. Where it's the mom or something like that, or whatever, something with spiders, if I recall correctly. And I just got stuck, like, trying to figure out how the boss worked. And I found that experience frustrating in VR because you're just repeatedly dying, trying again. At least for the PC port version of it that I was doing, right? I found it not easy and really jarring. The way that the menu system works in that's where I gave up. I was like, yeah, whatever. But the horror stuff, it doesn't bother me in VR. It does, like the actual like horror aspect doesn't bother me.
Meatball, don't talk about board games too. You're gonna trigger Travis and these guys too about that. Well, you're really gonna take us down a tangent.
Well, and it's so weird too with the VR horror games, because last year for the first time, I went to haunted walkthrough, mansion and everything, where they have like the actors and everything. I went with some people from work, and I was like, this is boring. The people I was with, there were a couple of people who were screaming throughout the entire thing, and I was just, as I'm walking through, I'm like, well, I can see a person in the corner over there, so I know they're going to jump out. I'm like, there was nothing terrifying to me. So as we're walking through and the people behind me are kind of screaming, I'm like, I'm kind of bored. I think it would have been more entertaining for me to be behind people and like walk through and see them like react to this than be in the front. And then we went up to Portland and we went to their big one there where it was like 3 different haunted tours you could go through, and we got shoved to the front of the group there too. And I was just like, this is not like, there's nothing terrifying about this. But I try and get in VR and I'm just like, oh, I know I can't get hurt by this, but for whatever reason, this really scares me and it's causing my heart rate to jump up. And I'm like, why can't I go do like a haunted tour and not be scared? But this does kind of, it's a weird reaction.
I think it's because when you put VR on, you're putting on a blindfold to the real world.
Chris,
not that you feel you're off, right? But you can't see what's around, right?
Chris, I want you to do some VR, but like you need to broadcast it, because I want to see you get scared, dude. I would love it.
Yeah,
I would love it.
Broadcast you playing Resident Evil 7.
I will share the hell out of that.
And then that's like,
we could clip those things, like you get
local Salem man found dead. VR headset on.
I get. We have enough stuff in our life.
Alacrean. I'll take a look at that puzzling places though. Thank you for that.
We have enough stuff in our life to get our heart rate up. Usually for games, we need just something to relax to a little bit.
Yeah, so it sounds like I'm not the only person who feels that way then when I sit down to game. I didn't know, like I didn't know if that was just me getting older or whatnot, where I was like, okay, I just want to relax now. This is like my TV time.
Right.
Well, it's a, I've video gamed since the early 90s when I was a teenage kid and everything. And if you look at it, at least for me, my genre of game that I've loved over the years constantly changes. There was a period there where you catch me playing Call of Duty, Halo, first person shooters were like the best thing in the world. Now I'm just kind of like, first person shooter don't really care too much for, unless you've got some kind of interesting story. So there has to be a story for me now with games. Like it has to be able to kind of catch me and get me in there and everything. So I think we just go through as we age up and everything. We kind of come to find ourselves whatever genre we're into. That's where we've kind of moved on. I imagine here in the next 10 years, I'm probably going to hit the point where Sudoku's going to be my go-to for everything.
Well, it's not, I put way more hours, just like every week, I put way more hours in playing Hearthstone than I do on any other game. Like that's just sitting there playing cards, and that's just, it's been years of just flipping away at cards, right?
Yeah. I agree with Speed. Quake 3 Arena is.
We need to get a remake of Quake 3. I know they've done Quake 2 and 1. I wonder if they're working on Quake 3. Did we play that on Dreamcast? Rumored. Yeah. What system did we play that on, Speed? Was it Dreamcast? I can't remember.
I thought Quake 2 was on Dreamcast. I could be wrong though.
It might. Yeah,
I thought that Quake 3 came out after Dreamcast time. I thought.
Speed will know. He'll come back. Actually, they did Quake 3 live. Oh, you played it on PC.
PC.
Okay.
Yeah, same with me. Same with me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was really good multiplayer. Well, any final thoughts, guys? This has been a good show. You guys in the chat are popping tonight.
I mean, we could talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows.
All right, yeah, let's talk about that.
Sure. Yeah, trailer dropped this week.
There's some controversy on that game, boys and girls.
Now, Travis, you're playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah.
At the beginning, does it still have the disclaimer that it's supposed to be based on historical locations, but the characters are fictional?
Gosh, that stupid disclaimer, it takes forever to get off the screen. I don't think I've ever read it once. I just stare at the screen and then wait for it to pass, because I think it's also combined, or no, I think there's two, right? Because there's the seizure one that takes forever to get off the screen, and I think that one, I'll try to pay attention tonight. I think it does say that, it's based on historical events and, that whole thing. Yeah, I think with Shadow, are you talking about the controversy of the ethnicity of the main character? Is that what was that the kind of controversy?
For me, I mean, there's several controversies right now with it, but the one that I was looking at and I was like, this is kind of weird for the Assassin's Creed games, because as far as I remember with like the first, second, third one and on, it was always it's based on a historical location, but the characters are fictional. Whereas this one, it's like you're going to play as two characters. There's Naoa, a female shinobi, and Yasuke, who's based on a historical figure.
On a real character, right? Yeah, or on a real figure, yeah.
A real character, but the actual historical information about Yasuke is he was a retainer and kind of an attraction for Nobunaga, who was a warlord during the 15th century. And he'd come over to Japan with Jesuit missionaries. And so he wasn't really based on the information that I've been able to find out, because I was like, okay, I want to know why they're using a historical figure in a country that primarily was Japanese during that time period. And so the information I've been able to find is he really wasn't a samurai so much as he was a kind of Nobunaga had never seen a black man before, so he thought he was just a dirty guy. And so when he ordered his men to wash him, clean him, and he still had black pigmented skin, he was kind of like, oh, this is interesting. I want this guy to be a retainer and kind of stay with me and everything. And he never was actually involved in any fights. So this guy wasn't a samurai as far as like historical records show and everything. But I know that Netflix had a anime on that was called Yasoku. And it was like they changed everything to there so that he was kind of the main like action oriented, samurai that you kind of expect. And it's, I don't know. To me, it's just kind of weird that you're going to take and focus on a culture of, Japanese folks, and your main character, one of them is going to be a fictional character, and then the other one is a historical character. But the historical character, you're not actually using what historical information is out there to kind of show the real thing. I thought that was kind of a strange thing for them to do with this one. But it also is a case where I've seen people saying the reason they may be doing this with the trailer and everything is to kind of take your view away from the actual issue, which is that this is going to have 3 different price points with the actual game. If you want everything that the game has to offer, you have to pay $130 for it.
Yikes. So I feel like that's how Valhalla is, because I saw that in Valhalla, like I said, I think I'm almost done with this one. There was an area I walked up to the other day that was like, oh, you can build this. Well, wait, you've got to go buy this downloaded content, which is a whole nother mission. And I feel like now that I'm towards the end of the game, it's starting to not make any sense. And it feels like I'm missing like a third of the story, like as based off like what main characters are saying, trying to wrap it up. They're like, don't you remember when this happened? And, and you did this to me. And I'm like, that didn't happen that I can recall. And then I saw in a review, somebody said, like, to get the full experience, you have to buy all of the DLC for the ending to make sense. And so I wonder if that's like, maybe that game, that's where they started doing that. I don't know. I didn't feel it was that bad in Odyssey, because I beat Odyssey and I didn't feel Odyssey felt so disjointed as this one all of a sudden feels right at the very end.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed, the series, the first 3 in the series were they had all the modern day stuff with Desmond that I was like, oh, I like the sci-fi aspect of the apple from the Garden of Eden is like this alien device and everything, and there's like this cool story going on there. And then you kind of get to go back in history and kind of the first one, you'll have to correct me if you guys remember, but I think he was Middle Eastern because the game took place in the Middle East. And then the second one was Edo Auditory, Italian in Italy. And then the third one is American, and you play as a Native American. And it's like, it's such an interesting thing that they really are going this route where they're grabbing these different characters out of history that aren't like primarily the culture that it's supposed to be based around. And then there was a former developer from Ubisoft who had been part of the working on Assassin's Creed Shadows for years. And he said the original storyline they had and everything based on this trailer that's been released was thrown out, because none of this stuff was in their original story for what they wanted to do. And so I've kind of lost interest in Assassin's Creed, and this one I was looking forward to a Japanese setting. And
I thought it sounded cool, and then I didn't really pay much attention until, oddly enough, this morning I read a commentary on it. I think on PC.IGN. I think I read it on IGN, but it may have been on PC Gamer, um, where they were
I'm
actually
trying to
taking the
stay away
opposite
from
approach.
IGN.
Is that right?
Yeah, I blocked them.
Why is that?
They were very controversial. Well, their whole thing with what was it? I know that it really pissed me off back in the day was when they gave Alien Isolation a 5.9 out of 10. But
Oh, weird.
the recent stuff about uh, uh, Resident Evil 5, one of the
Mm.
writers being upset that they wouldn't do a remake of that because it's in Africa and you couldn't do that in 2024. That's not a thing they should do. Like
I
I
honestly,
completely disagreed with that.
I forget that IGN exists in until like yesterday. When I was just, I'd already gone through PC Gamer, GameSpot, like the typical, major sites to like pull out some news and read. And then I was like, man, it feels like I'm missing something. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. IGN was a thing. I wonder if it's still around.
Did
And then
you well
that's
did you
how I
see
found it.
now they're doing an IGN live. They're trying to be like E3.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I'm not sure
Uh-uh.
exactly when the date is for that, but it's going to be this summer in LA. And sounds like I swear I just read it that they're going to have like a Star Trek panel from Star Trek Strange New Worlds there.
Yeah. What,
So, but I'm going to say no,
Yeah,
not today, Satan.
What I didn't like about the IGN site after going there just for the last day or whatever was that forgetting it was a thing and finding out it was, every article wasn't an article, but it was a video. And it's like, look, when I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
insomnia and I'm just trying to read something to pass back out again, give me an article like a magazine, right? Like give me that. Right. And that I just found crazy that there was like hardly anything to read except this one editorial on Assassin's Creed.
It's
That was
crazy
it.
too how many YouTube videos or YouTube creators will go out and they'll give their video game news, but really they're just reading an article.
Oh, is that
And
right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
swear to God, like some of these YouTube creators, that's all they do. And they'll
Yeah.
just read an interesting article and just make it into a video, and that's your
Yes.
daily content. Like, all
So
right,
for
good for you, man.
insomnia,
But yeah,
I need more suggestions as to what to go to read, enough to a long enough article that's cell phone friendly to pass out to.
no,
Like
I no,
that's
I'm the way in the morning. Like I'll wake up and I want to read stuff. Like I'll read the
yeah.
national news, the local news, and then I go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
video game news, or if it's
Yeah.
not that, or sports. Because usually there's something that happened overnight, or overseas that when we were sleeping,
Yeah, for sure.
gaming news is so yeah, it's gotten bad, and you don't
Yeah.
know who to trust anymore. So that's why we're here for you guys.
Yeah.
Well, Alikrian, you probably get your news not from us. You're probably the most knowledgeable guy on some of the stuff that we've ever we know. But any other final thoughts, Dathan? Go Ducks!
Go Ducks. Fun show today, guys. Chat was on fire. It's a good show.
I guess I need to put it up on the screen more often. Get you guys fired up.
yeah,
Oh, Dathan, do you want to talk about X-Men 97 before we go?
Yes, X-Men 97, absolutely fantastic. Loved the last
Spoiler
story
alert.
arc. So the story arc was absolutely fantastic. The cameos, the setup for season 2 was great. It was everything that I wanted it to be. It was fantastic. That's what I thought.
I agree. Chris Clark Speed just texted me, so I'm reading it real quick here. Speed, I need to get you on the show, bro. I'm gonna send you a link next week. But yeah, Chris B, did you see the X-Men 97 all 10?
I did, and it was it definitely was. So from the first episode, I had reservations about the entire season. I wasn't quite on board with some of the changes, primarily Magneto not having the helmet early on.
Mm-hmm.
But as it progressed, I was like, oh, this is getting so much better. And that last episode, just, it was like, this is what they needed to do. You kind of started out, get people back into it, and you just ramp it up. And I felt like X-Men 97 certainly did that, where they kind of, they hit a hill and they took it up and they just kept going. So I'm really hoping that season 2 just keeps that trend going.
I didn't even realize there was a season 2 until the end of this. Like, they're going to leave this on a cliffhanger. But wouldn't you guys agree, like, the first 4 episodes are definitely, after episode 5 hits, it goes to another level. But that last 10th episode, it does kind of show like, oh, that's why they went there in episode 1. That's why they went there in episode 2, because it all ties together. And just wonderful writing throughout. For me, that's it, kind of just like all came together. Now, I will say, I feel like the ending kind of was very comic book like it was like a page turner, and I'm not, it was good, but I don't know, it felt like it was straight out of the comic book. It was good. All right, that's all I gotta say. Building a story, yep, good storytelling. Yeah, it was good. So good on Disney putting that out there. All right, I'm going to read Chris Clark's Speeds. Sorry, I just doxed you, bro. I know this won't be good for your audience, but the biggest hype thing for me today is the Ambernick RG35XX SP, and it's getting amazing reviews. A Chinese garbage handheld EMU device that is almost a one-for-one size comparison for the handheld of all time. So it's basically, yeah. So he's talking about there's a new GBA device that just came out. It's only $59, so I think that's what surprised a lot of people, that it wasn't going to be more than that. Speed, if you get one, we need to get you on the show and show it off. I think one of the other YouTubers was showing it off today. It looks really cool. Yeah, I totally had a Game Boy SP. I think I lost it, but now that I can. Speed, do you have an iPhone? Because like I can run a lot of that stuff just on my iPhone now. You know, we all can. Oh, Meatball Saucy, you're getting one too? Dope. Jason, you probably got the link. You can share the link if you want. Yeah. Ambernick RG35XXSP. GBA SP. Chris Speeds texts me now. You guys are getting ridiculous. Looks like a really nice unit, but I have a 405 and I don't have pockets, so I'm good. Yeah. Speed says he has an Odin 2 iPhone emo. Yeah. Anyway, all right, you guys are distracting me. Stop it.
Oh, I don't know if you saw Paper Mario. Pre-orders for the ship version are being canceled.
Oh yeah, but if you ordered at Target, they're shipping them out today. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was Walmart and Amazon is what I'd seen it canceled.
I had one originally ordered from Amazon. I had that and Luigi's Mansion, and they canceled both of them. That was last month, but now Walmart's doing the same damn shit, and not good. So they want you to go into Walmart and buy it physically, but I guess they're saying that's a directive from Nintendo. I don't know. I call them BS on that.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's more of a
Nostalgia showed it off tonight. Yeah.
Because of the fact Walmart has said that they're closing down stores that are underperforming because a lot of people are buying stuff online only. So how do you force people into your store? You cancel their ship version and you tell them, hey, you want to buy this game, come into the store, get them in the store, and hopefully they'll buy other stuff.
I heard that they were given a $25 credit if you did do that at Walmart, but
yeah,
Not good. I just want it shipped to my house now. Now I got kids with me, bringing them everywhere just to pick up that game. Just send it to my doorstep, please. This is the year 2024, guys. And or just buy it digitally, whatever. I know Eric's not here. We can't piss him off tonight. Yeah.
But then if you stay home and you only have stuff shipped, you never get to meet great guys like these ones. So, you know.
No, you can just watch us on YouTube. Well, we're on X, we're on Instagram, and I'm actually on Twitch, guys. I don't know. It says I have one guy watching on Twitch right now. So I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, shout out to that one guy.
Yeah.
It might be a bot. Maybe it's speed. But anyway, guys, I'm going to call it. We've been almost an hour and 30 minutes. Great show tonight. Be sure to check out, well, let's plug Chris, you got your YouTube channel.
Yep. ASOJax Media Grounds, at ASOJax. You can find me there on YouTube.
Yeah, he's watching you with his Dune bucket. I did not get the Dune bucket. That thing is going for expensive prices on eBay, dude. Crazy.
Just get a 3D printer. It's cheaper.
Yeah. Well, you guys are going to take me somewhere. I don't want to go. Hello, Bot. I really liked your profile, and we seem to have similar interests. I sent you a friend request, Bot. Hope you connect soon. Good. You're making friends, Jason.
Good for you.
Thank you for staying up late for us, Jason. I know you're a busy man. You're like the ultimate moderator for some of these channels. Dathan, any final thoughts?
I don't think so. Like I
Go
said
follow
before,
his Instagram, everybody.
Great show. It was fun, good chat, good information, and until next week, class dismissed.
Yeah, Travis, any final thoughts, sir?
No, Dathan wrapped it up.
All right. Give me a like. Give this video a like on the way out. And thanks so much, guys. Consider subscribing. My channel just hit 800 subscribers last week, I think. So we're going. So I appreciate y'all. And we'll see you next Friday.
Peace, guys.
Peace out,
Bye.
guys.